If you need help, then dial your operator.
Hey guys, Credit Shifu here. Happy American Independence Day, 4th of July, woohoo! So, I'm going to tell you a story. I stayed in a hotel last night and I booked it with points because I don't pay for hotels. I'm the Credit Shifu. I actually made use of all three cards in this process of staying at this hotel. So let's tell the story. So yesterday I was at a wedding in upstate New York in a place called Middletown. It's about at least an hour and a half from New York City, maybe more like 2 hours, and certainly an hour and a half from where I live in northern New Jersey, just outside of New York City. And halfway through this wedding, through the reception, I just came down with kind of a real bad headache, and I really didn't fancy, once we got to the end of the night, about 10 p.m., I really didn't fancy the hour and a half drive back home. It just felt not safe. And we had Mrs. Credit Shifu and Baby Credit Shifu with me, and they were feeling tired too. So we opted to stay in a hotel for the evening. But like I just said, I'm the Credit Shifu. I don't pay for hotels. So as soon as we started thinking about a hotel, I started looking at the options and looking at what points we could use. We stayed in Hampton Inn near Middletown before, and I've actually featured Hampton Inn in the very first video I did for this channel, the Hilton Honors Card Review. That was a Hampton Inn in the Poconos, not Middletown, but they're actually, having stayed in two different Hampton Inns, they're actually almost exactly the same. Seems wherever you go, pretty much the same thing. Now, that place also, Hampton Inn in Middletown, right next to it is Courtyard by Marriott. And so I figured, you know what, I'd like to give Courtyard by Marriott a try. They're both in the same kind of range. They're sort of competing for the lower end of business. One is Hilton and one is Marriott and SPG and that whole conglomerate. So they're the kind of like the two hotels from each of the big chains competing for that kind of lower end, not super low end, but still like, it's a basic hotel. It's 3-star. It's got everything you need and nothing more, basically. So we drove to the hotel, Courtyard by Marriott, and I was going to book originally with Chase Ultimate Rewards points. But I went on Chase's travel portal, Ultimate Rewards travel portal on their website, and it actually wouldn't let me book for that evening. This was almost 10 o'clock at night, so 2 hours away from 12 p.m. And I was typing 3rd of July, and it kept showing up with red error messages and would only let me book for the following day, the 4th to the 5th instead of the 3rd to the 4th. So I couldn't book through Chase, and that's a shame because I had 26,000 Ultimate Reward points in my account, and as you know, when booking with the Sapphire Reserve, the points are worth 1.5 times, so you get a deduction, you get a discount. So I started looking at Amex Travel instead. Now, Mrs. Credit Shifu has a huge balance of Amex points, and so we were like, well, let's check it out. Let's see if Amex Travel will let us book on the same day. And yes, sure enough, Amex Travel did let you book for the 3rd. There was absolutely no problem entering the date. 2 hours before the end of the day, I entered the date and there was no problem booking for the night of the 3rd, checkout on the 4th. Today I actually phoned up Chase and I asked them, hey, what's the deal with your system? Do you have to book 24 hours before to make a booking or something like that? And the guy on the phone is very helpful. He said, actually, the system shouldn't do that, but sometimes maybe it does. And in that case, you would just want to call the number on the back of your card. I'm just hiding my numbers there. Yeah, this number just below the signature, just below the magnetic strip on the back of your card, and you can actually book over the phone. And you can book for the same day. They'll do it for you. But, I was here sitting in a parking lot, 10 o'clock at night, big headache. I just wanted to get in and lie down in a bed. So booking through Amex Travel was much better and much quicker. Now, I got a horrible redemption rate for this hotel. I paid 23,000 American Express points for it. Okay, I didn't transfer to Marriott or anything, or Hilton or anything like that. I just booked straight through Amex Travel with points. And the hotel would have cost around 170. So it's like 160 plus tax to work out about 170 in dollars. And that was 23,000 points for that. So you can see it's a horrible redemption rate. It's less than 1 cent per point. I had a look on the website also for a few weeks, booking in a few weeks in advance for something at the end of July. Actually, the regular price is around $130 plus tax. So I think probably it was because it was the night before Independence Day. Probably a lot of rooms were booked. It was pushing the price up. That's probably why. Booking under normal circumstances, this hotel isn't as expensive and wouldn't be as many points as I paid for it yesterday. But, a last minute thing, I wouldn't pay $170 for that. but I would pay that amount of points because points are just accumulating on your account through sign-up bonus, through spend. I think most people, if you're on average income, maybe $50,000 to $60,000 a year, and you suddenly get a bill for $170, you'd probably be pretty annoyed. I mean, you'd afford it. You'd probably use a credit card, split it over 2 months, or wait till your next paycheck came in to pay off the bill. But it would you definitely feel the pain having to spend $170 out of the blue like that you didn't know you had to spend. So that's what's the great thing about credit card points. It gives you this flexible options. You can just randomly stay in a hotel. So let's get down to it, and let's now have a little bit of a room tour of the hotel. And most importantly, we're comparing it to Hampton Inn because these are the two kind of hotels that are competing in this range. Courtyard by Marriott, just a little bit more expensive. I noticed it's about $10 more expensive than Hampton Inn last night. But anyway, let's go and have a look. So the room is nice. It's decorated really nicely. It's not just one color. It has these kind of patterns and designs on the wall. And it has some really kind of cool artworks. These pictures are of some local places in the town, Middletown, here in upstate New York, which is cool. It's a good bit of thought. It's not like these sort of generic artworks that are duplicated in every single room that we saw in the Sheraton. Yeah, look, this is one in our room. And oh, look, the exact same picture is in the example room on their website. So it's a little bit of thought has been put into it, and that's really noticeable. The carpets are pretty thick, which is really nice. It absorbs sound, so it's kind of like it has a quiet feel. The bed is great. The pillows and the sheets are all of a high standard. One kind of weird thing is the TV doesn't face the bed. It faces this sofa, which can actually turn into a sofa bed. But for me, when I go to a hotel, I don't really sit in the sofa very often. I much prefer to just sit on the bed with all the pillows behind me and watch the TV. So that's kind of not the best design, and actually with your feet facing the window, it's not good Chinese feng shui either. Talking of the TV though, you have access to all these channels, which are, pretty good. That's pretty much all you'd want. There's ample power outlets in the room, and you get the usual coffee machine, microwave, fridge, etc. The bathroom is real nice for the kind of range. It's not, it doesn't have a luxury feel, but the towels are all high quality. Probably, a little bit nicer than Hampton Inn. The bathroom products are all by Paul Mitchell, which is quite a good brand when it comes to like hair and bathroom products. It's definitely like a known named brand rather than just some generic shampoo. So that's pretty nice. And the soap smells good, the water pressure and all that is really good too. So my experience at Courtyard by Marriott, I would say that it's actually a little bit higher class than a Hampton Inn. Even though they seem to be kind of competing in the same area, it's just a little bit of a step up. It's about $10 more expensive if you're paying with money, and it also doesn't include breakfast. Hampton Inn does include breakfast, but I wouldn't recommend the breakfast there. It just isn't that good. At Courtyard by Marriott, I paid $10 per person for this breakfast, and obviously I paid using my SPG card, which after the merger with Marriott and SPG, you can now use your SPG card at Marriott properties to get 2 points per dollar, which transfers, because remember it's 1 to 3 transfer ratio between SPG and Marriott, to 6 Marriott points. So you can earn extra points like that. And obviously the points we earned to book the whole thing were from the American Express Platinum and Gold card. This is actually the Gold card, but it's on a Platinum account, so it earns the same amount of points that a Platinum card does. So guys, there's my review. American Express seems to be just a little bit ahead of Chase in terms of the online interface, booking hotels, etc., because you can book for that day, even very late in the day. And Courtyard by Marriott is a little bit better than Hampton Inn by Hilton in that sort of low range, sort of 3-star hotel sphere. Okay, so guys, what did you think? Have you stayed at a Courtyard by Marriott? Share your thoughts, or a Hampton Inn. What do you think of my redemption rate? I know it's pretty bad, 22,000 points, but booking out of the blue like that, this is what credit card points are for, letting you have the flexibility to do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do. Guys, I'm the Credit Shifu. Please subscribe to this channel for more credit card tips and tricks, how to use credit card points to have amazing travel experiences, and we'll see you next time. Bye. I was looking into darkness.